I just want to let everybody know this is my director's chair. When Wolfman's behind the camera, I say, hey, get over there, get me some water.
So you mean when I'm not sitting in my chair, you sit in my chair is what you're saying?
No, it's my director's chair. It's got Cullum on the back.
Who was sitting in it right now?
You were, but it wasn't a director's chair.
To change out lenses, and then you go and sit in it real quick. Does it make you the director?
No, what happens is you sit in it. It's a camping chair. I go sit in it. It's like, oh, that's a director's chair. So anyway, while I'm sitting in my director's chair, Wolfman's on the camera, and I'm pointing fingers, telling him what shots he needs to get, because I'm a director. Jeremiah Spielberg.
Get off my hand!
Tomatoes!
Are you a little diva-ish already?
I'm on the Diva Edition bike.
Yeah, you're acting it. All right, go.
Wolf Tick Nation, thank you guys for tuning in to once again another Wolf Tick Videos episode. We are fixing to do a real-time review on the Sram DB8 hydraulic 4-piston Sram's first ever, apparently, mineral oil brakes. That's right.
People are saying you're wrong.
Leave it in the comments if I'm wrong, okay? Hydraulic brakes, you can get these things right around $64, $65 for a front and a rear. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, a piece pretty much, okay? Big brother Kevin H sent us these brakes, and he wanted to share with the rest of the Wolf Tick Nation. He says, hey, I haven't seen a review on these brakes yet. Let's get them Wolf Tick. Let's take it down to Black Diamond. Let's bed them in. Let's see how it goes. And what does Wolf Tick have to think about them? So guys, you found the right episode, okay, if that's what you guys are looking at as well. So what we're going to be doing on today's episode, we're going to be taking it down a Black Diamond. It is Hayes Creek Run. It's like a 2.3 mile downhill. Good Lord, it keeps growing. It is my favorite trail in Arkansas. We're at Sunrise Point here in Dardanelle, Arkansas, atop beautiful Mount Nebo. And man, this is the test track that is perfect for brakes, because it is like this the entire time. All right, we're on everybody's favorite bike, the Mongoose Ardor, Project Ron Burgundy, the Wolf Tick Diva Edition. I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, it's been a minute since you guys got to see this bike on the channel, and keep that camera on me. I ain't worried about your bugs. This is the face right here. This is what everybody's here to see. Okay.
I think everyone's here about the brakes.
All right, Wolf Tick Nation, let's get after this. I'm ready. Alright guys, here we go with the Mongoose Ardor Wolf Tick Diva Edition. Super excited about getting the Sram DB8 hydraulic brake 4-piston video out of the way. We just got to make sure we get some cameras recording. Want everybody to know, safety first. Last episode I was riding, I wasn't wearing my knee pads, nor was I wearing my shadow elbow pads. I've got them on now. It is super warm out, but I don't care. I'm tired of getting scraped up. Everybody needs to make sure they have their safety stuff on. If you guys want to check out, and my gloves, my hand-up gloves, but if anybody wants to check out any of the safety stuff I've got on, these brakes, some of the parts that we're using, make sure you guys check out the affiliate links in the description below. We'll get all these cameras going. Okay, so we've got a lever cam. And the cool thing about this GoPro mount here, like all the other ones we're using, is I can actually swivel this guy for both levers. So we're going to be doing a lever cam today. Okay, we've got the bottom tube cam, which shows the front wheel. I was trying to set up a camera on the upper here. I guess it's not lower, it's an upper. I was going to try to get one set up here so I can show the front rotor, but these little protective deals that protect the stanchions, those are going to hit it and impede with it, so I couldn't do that for you guys. So I figured this one here might be able to give you a decent shot of the fork as well as the caliper. And then we've got the seat post stay, apparently that's called. One of the guys had a big issue with me calling it a chain stay. We've got the seat post stay clamp that's showing the rear rotor. So that's going to be what we've got in store today for you guys. Maxxis Icon Plus up front, or I'm sorry, Maxxis Minion DHF up front. And then we've got the specialized ground control in the rear. This is going to be a super fast episode, hopefully, as far as the rolling goes. I think we're going to roll pretty quick today, but let's go ahead and head out over here, guys, and we'll go ahead and get these brakes bedded in, and we'll talk about them as we're going down, of course, and we'll do the conclusion down at the bottom of the hill. All right, guys, here we go with the Sram DB8 hydraulic 4-piston brakes. I'm just curious if these things are going to feel like 4 pistons, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, and when installing these in the shop, you know, I'll get on the bike and start to squeeze the levers and kind of rock back and forth just to see how they feel. I know the brakes aren't bedded in or anything like that, so we cleaned the rotors. I did that, and they didn't feel super strong, okay? There's the old deer. You guys see the deer? Hey, buddy. Looks like the one that we hit in the Spark. Looks a little bit smaller. See how close we can get. Come here. Come here. That's cool. When he's up here out of the way. Anyway, they didn't feel extremely good, you know what I mean? But that's completely different. It wasn't even on a trail. It was just standing there. So hopefully the bedding process goes good and they'll stop us. And these damn biting flies will stop biting me. Gosh. Now, we have not messed with the throw adjustment at all, and that was one of the things that the Sram's website said with these levers. They've actually done the whole new optimized lever to where you can actually get to the throw adjustment, right, to kind of see how far or how close you need to get your levers to the bar. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to mess with that probably right about the $1 Million Bridge area. That's about 3/4, maybe a little bit further down the trail. So in case it does mess with the brakes performance, we'll have a pretty good review from up to that point. We're going to do the bedding process. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully no smoke today. These are organic pads, and these are 160 millimeter rotors. We're rocking the 160s on this bike. I didn't even know that. I thought we at least had 180s. So definitely heat dissipation is going to be a big deal with these brakes, because given the small rotors, it's super hot out, and this bike should be a very fast roller. But we'll check. You know, I'll try to kind of relay as much as I can as far as the heat's concerned. When we get down at the bottom, we'll do some stops and stuff like that and see how much heat's coming from these rotors. But so far, the lever does feel pretty good on the fingers. I mean, we're going pretty slow right now. What's interesting, though, is given about the second to third pull on these levers, I can feel them grabbing more and more. That's a first. Most of the time it takes a good amount of squeezing to really get them set, but I can feel these pads starting to grab. So that's interesting. That's good. You know, the 4-piston. And really, it seems like these calipers are overbuilt. You know, they are aluminum as well, but they've got a massive air chamber. If you guys watched or if you missed it, on the initial impressions, we went over that. So you guys might want to check that video out where we kind of took them apart a little bit and checked them all out. But something that was interesting was how big the air port was for the cooling process. Okay, now after squeezing that front, I'm actually feeling that rotor make contact. I'm feeling the rotor making contact with the pad, almost like a warped feeling. Like, you know, whenever you don't really get your caliper centered on straight during an install. Right now, that front one is making contact. So that's interesting. We'll have to stop and take a look at that before we get the rest of the review done. But the bedding process went good. They feel good right now. But let's go ahead and stop over here and let's readjust that front caliper, because it's knocking and making noise, and I don't like that.
I didn't expect to stop.
Oh, me neither. While I was bedding it, everything started out good, but that front one, you know, whenever, like, during the install, you have to get perfectly centered. Mm-hmm. After about 4 or 5 squeezes, that rotor started to make contact on the pad. Okay. So it's driving me nuts. I can, like, feel it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kind of push it over to the side a little bit. I just got to find a bike stand or something. Mm-hmm. Or a rock. All right, much better.
Okay, you're all good now?
Yeah, I just had to get a little adjusted.
Okay, so the review continues.
Review continues. Little adjustments here and there.
I'll meet you at the bottom. All
right, love it. So here's Hayes Creek down here, guys. We're going to go the rest of this way, and then we're going to do a little Poe Lawless kiss your own turn, and then we'll be hitting it, getting a real-time review out of the way. All right, guys, there's another deer up there crossing the road. Well, let's do this. We got the brakes bedded in. BOLANY fork up front. Got a little chatter in the rear. Oh, we're on the Ardor, baby. Let's shred this.
All right, seat post is dropped, standing room only. Man, it's been a minute since we've been on this trail. It's probably going to be pretty rough. We've been getting a lot of rain here lately, but tonight should be nice and dry. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with some one finger action on these brakes. First turn here, we're starting to slow down. Okay, that was all mainly rear brake, and it was gripping very well with the one finger, but really we weren't going that fast just yet. Let's keep on keeping on, and then we'll start talking about some of the pad fill with these brakes. As I was saying, when we were in the shop doing the install, they really weren't, they felt a little squishy. And a lot of people, the interesting thing is a lot of people said that they're buying bikes that come with these brakes on them. So I thought that was kind of interesting. We'll get to see if they agree. If you guys are watching, make sure you let us know in the comments when we come to the conclusion with these brakes. Let us know if you agree or disagree. All right, first turn here, rear brake. I can lock it up with the one finger, was a little loose. We'll be showing you guys that camera on the front lever as well. Now I will definitely have to be adjusting the throw on these things because the levers are a little far away from my liking at the moment. But everybody says, well, don't adjust them because you're going to get air. How you get air in your system? By adjusting your throw, I've got no clue. But we'll just to be safe, we'll do it, like I said, by the $1 Million Bridge. But $64 each for these brakes, right about that. 4-piston Srams. I mean, it sounds good, right? Let's keep on keeping on and see what happens. Okay, I'm able to lock them up. I mean, they are grabbing. It just seems like something's missing. Oh no, I have to see if I can put my finger on it. Let's get down here a little bit more ways and we'll kind of see how the heat is on these guys. It is warm out today, fellas. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping I could get a fork view for you guys. Really, this BOLANY seems a little stiff right now. We've got 70 PSI in there. Maybe should have lessened the air, but we got the rock garden, Savage rock garden. Oh, man, slow me down going pretty good into it. Let's get some speed. We got a good turn coming after this. After that little feature there. Good turn here, having to slow it down. The brake levers feel okay. Ooh, brake levers are feeling okay in the fingers. It's just, I really need to adjust the throw on them. So that's gonna be interesting to feel that. My hands are getting a little fatigued at the moment because I have to squeeze pretty hard with my fingers. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. They are slowing me down, but they feel just a little bit like there's a lot of modulation from the first portion, about almost halfway point to the grip. There's a lot of modulation in there. I'm gonna have to keep on riding and see what that is necessarily for me to put my finger on it. It just there's no complete on or off, and that's what I'm used to with a 4-piston. I know a lot of people don't like the whole on or off feel, but I am a fan of the on or off style, meaning it's either 100% or not. But we'll find out. Okay, so the rear rotor, there's really not a lot of heat there, and that rear caliper is almost cool, or like outside temperature. That's very interesting. But I was using the front rotor a little bit more coming down. Let me feel this the front caliper. Let me feel this guy, and that is like outside temperature as well. That's crazy. All right, let's keep on continuing down this rough trail. All right, so trying to explain the lever feel, I think I know what it is, and you guys are gonna trip out when I say this, okay? There's almost too much modulation. Woof, hope I don't hit my bottom tube GoPro. There's almost too much. It doesn't really start to set in until you're pulling this guy halfway or 3/4, but then that's when the strength kicks in. So you know, hey, this is a 4-piston brake. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the Shimano MT420s, those are a 4-piston. Those are some awesome brakes, but they're so, ooh, fast portion there. They're so on or off, and I've gotten used to that when it comes to the 4-pistons. We've also done the E4s. We've done the Zoom 4-piston, HB8 7.6s, I believe. And all those, I would say the most modulating of them is probably the E4s. These ones here are kind of, they modulate to a different level. Like there's so much pad feel. You can feel every little bit of bite on these calipers. And some people must, I mean, I know a lot of people really like that. And that's probably for the best riding experience and braking experience and safety, but they're a little too smooth. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. That's the best way I can explain these things. They're just very, I don't know, it kind of feels like they're holding back on the overall strength. I'm really looking forward to switching the throw a little bit, getting that lever closer to see if maybe we can get some more strength with less of a squeeze and not having to fatigue my hands so much. Wow, guys, you know, this is my favorite trail in Arkansas, but right now it is so rough. We need to get here with some trail maintenance. I know they do days where they come out and work on these trails. We have got to come out here, but they need to put some dirt down big time. Man, riding on the hardtail, this is a rough trail. That fork's doing okay. As I was talking about earlier, it just seems like it's very kind of stiff. I don't know. It's not working with me. It kind of is fighting against me. Maybe the rebound's too fast, a little too poppy. Got a good little drop here. Let's see how it feels. Oh, okay. My foot come off the pedal. That wasn't bad at all. Actually sucked that up pretty quick. Let's get down here and let's feel this caliper and rotor and see if it's gotten any hotter. That's something that this thing is not doing. Dude, that's crazy, guys. The temperature is just, it's slightly warm. Wow, even the rotor's not that hot. That is super surprising. Damn. What's crazy is there is no, at the moment, there's no brake fade, guys. And we're probably, I'd say probably about halfway through the trail. We're using the crap out of these brakes, and mainly I'm using the front caliper so much more than the rear, just because I don't want that back end skidding out on me so much. I kind of feel like I need to start braking in the front first, just for that Maxxis to get planted. And that Maxxis is almost all over the place as well. But anyway, interesting thing is we're just about, you know, halfway, a little bit more through this trail, and there's no brake fade whatsoever. Like these brakes are legit, man. They're super cool to the touch. You know, outside temperature. I'm using the crap out of them. No brake fade. I can feel all of that modulation, almost to a point where it's too much. And the reason I'm saying it's almost too much is because it feels like I really have to squeeze them to get the brakes going. You know what I mean? That was a good little portion there. I'm so used to very, very over-the-top strong brakes if it's a 4-piston. And these here are strong, but they're not strong immediately. So it gives you that false sense of like, okay, they're not that strong until you really have to get on them. And I'm not a big fan of that. I would rather try to work my ABS with the fingers, if that makes sense, than rely on the harder the squeeze constantly. Like I'm having to work the hell out of my fingers just to constantly be slowing down because there's no on and off. All right, $1 million bridge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mess with the throw adjustment and see if that helps whatsoever. Because, buddy, my hands are wore out. Let's see if this whole optimized lever throw adjustment, we can really get to it. Because that's one of the most annoying things is being on the trail doing this, and you can't get to the damn things. I mean, I don't know what kind of tool they expect, but wow, is that hard to get to still. You can see it more, I'll give them that. But you can hardly get to that thing. I think other brakes are actually easier than this. That's a little bit closer. So going to the left makes it a little bit closer. Let's do the same with the rear. And maybe this will give us just a little bit more hand comfort. All right, guys, we have adjusted the throw. And I want to say right now, let me get this camera up for you guys a little bit. I want to say right now, so much better. Now, even with the one finger, I'm still not making contact with my other finger. So when I go for the squeeze, it's super comfortable that this does not start to hit my fingers. It starts to catch first. It does feel like I'm hitting a little bit more of a wall actually with that throw adjustment, which is interesting because it shouldn't really mess with the overall feel of the brakes. Man, if you guys are enjoying this episode, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you ain't part of the Wolf Tick Nation. Show your boys some love. The throw adjustment has now been done, and we've got some pretty quick portions coming up here. So we'll get to see, and we have a big old, like a switchback berm. It's way up on the side of the hill we're gonna try to hit and see if we can slow us down. One fingers. All right, and here's that turn right here. Come up on the big side of the hill, one finger. Oh yes, okay, okay. So much more comfortable with the throw adjustment now. Whoa, a little loose there. Almost spilt over. So much better with the reach adjustment. My hands are thanking me. It's interesting because I'm hitting that wall sooner and I'm not used to that. You know what I mean? I've gotten used to the way these brakes were performing, and now it's kind of a new brake, and it's kind of gonna drive me nuts. Everybody says, well, you should have done it up at the top. But then, remember, we do not adjust a lot of things before, like brakes mainly, because we want to give you guys a real feel for it. And everybody says it messes with them overall, which it does mess with the modulation for sure. The thing now, though, is my fingers don't feel the greatest on these levers. I thought it was just the uncomfortableness of having to reach out so far to get a hold of the lever, guys, but the levers don't grab onto my fingers. If I use two fingers, which, see, that's where that feature comes into play, I can grip the bar, and then I can bring my fingers up and those levers get out of the way because we're going so fast. Like, that's cool to use the feature. But the problem is, unless I'm using two fingers, which is kind of necessary for these brakes, I don't really get the whole lever feel. It's kind of crappy. Ooh, that was a little sketchy. The levers are uncomfortable. It's about the only negative so far. That, and there's just a lot of modulation. We're moving right now. Very interesting. You guys let me know if you have these brakes. There were some good reviews on our channel. People saying that they were a big fan of them because that's the ones that they had bought. That's the one that came on their bike. And some people were saying, they're okay. I'm curious for you to let me know your guys' opinion on my opinion. Okay, well, the good with these brakes is for a 4-piston brake, the price of them each, $64, $65 each, is good, okay? They're very silent, and that's one thing I didn't have to mention down there because the brakes were so quiet. They grabbed pretty good, okay? They're 4-piston. The best thing I can say about these brakes, the highlight is they don't get hot. The calipers and the rotors, these are 160 rotors. Did you know that? I thought they were 180s, they're 160s. Yeah. These rotors and the calipers are like outside temperature, and I use the crap out of them right now. So that is very cool. Like, that's interesting. The brakes did not fade whatsoever. These brakes feel great. The issue I have with these brakes is they're almost too good of modulation. Does that make sense?
Explain it.
I explained to them, I'll explain it to you. When you're riding, you start to squeeze it a little bit, and as sketchy as this trail is right now, it's very loose. So instead of being able to actually use that feature where I'm gripping onto the bar and I move my fingers and the levers move out of the way, I pretty much had to have my fingers on the levers the whole time, which I did the one finger for the most part. The problem with that is I had to keep about a good 25%, it felt like, of brake of the modulation making contact with the rotor, just because there was so much of an area for the pads to bite onto it. You know, there was so much, and there was really no on or off feeling with these 4 pistons.
That's what I get. So that's what SRAM's known for, right? Is it has, like, I guess it doesn't have the on and off like you're used to with Shimano. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Shimano, the E4s, the Zooms.
Every one of those brakes, for the most part, has a pretty definite, like, on or off, right? There is so much modulation with these brakes.
I don't really dig them that much just because of that. Some of you guys might like that, but on certain trails like that that are very fast rolling, you got some drops here and there, you got loose gravel and big rocks, as much fingering of the brakes that I had to do, my hands got wore out so quick because of all the modulation. I couldn't just reach up and do this and then start using my ABS to really slow me down and then continue on the trail. But overall, the organic pads I thought were going to get burnt out on the way down here on getting these things bedded in. And come to find out that they didn't, you know what I mean? This is a pretty good set of brakes for the money. Big brother Kevin H, I appreciate you sending us this. Again, guys, if you want to check out these brakes or check out some of the stuff that's on this bike, you guys feel more than welcome to go down in the description below. Or go down to the links in the affiliate links in the description below.
There's a long damn-winded way to say check out the affiliate links. And remember, whenever you use the affiliate links to shop, you help your boys out, make some more content.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're fixing. It's too hot. Yeah, we're fixing to get out of here, but we just appreciate the whole Wolftick Nation watching these episodes. We know we've been going at it pretty heavy. Just make sure everybody has a safe and productive 4th of July. You guys enjoy them fireworks.
Productive.
I expect you to come back with all your fingers and toes. All the digits, all right? You got to be able to hit that like button.
Well, we'll probably put out another episode before the 4th.
Maybe, but we'll see. All right, guys. Well, again, Big Brother Kevin H, thank you for these breaks. And he's also a patron. All of our patrons, thank you guys so much out there. We got some more content coming your way as well.
Patrons up on the screen every now and then.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.